McGraw-Hill Audio presents 1,000 Barrels a Second, the coming oil break point and the challenges facing an energy-dependent world. Written by Peter Tertzakian, narrated by Dick Hill. Introduction. The Coming Oil Breakpoint. America is addicted to oil, President George W. Bush declared in his January 2006 State of the Union address. At the time, it seemed a stunning admission for an oil-friendly president to make. A year later, it's clear that what the president said was an understatement. The U.S. oil addiction is symbolized by the country's SUV-jammed freeways, far-flung suburbs, vulnerability to foreign sources of supply, and growing consumption year over year. But this is not just a U.S. story. On the global front, nearly every one of the 192 nations on this planet is also an oil addict, and newly industrializing countries in Asia and the Middle East are growing their habits as quickly as substance abusers can. All told, the world now consumes oil at the staggering rate of 1,000 barrels a second. As a milestone, this is a nice, even number. But think about it in immediate terms. By the time you finish listening to this paragraph, over 200,000 gallons of gasoline will have been burned. Next year, our rate of consumption will be greater. Our growing addiction to oil is not easily sustainable, if in fact it is sustainable at all. And this means that big changes in the world of energy are coming at you faster than you think. As you listen to this book, we are on the cusp of a tipping point, what I call a break point, that will change the way governments, corporations, and individuals exploit and consume primary energy resources, especially crude oil. Over the course of the next 5 to 10 years, increasingly volatile energy prices are going to affect how you live and what you drive, not to mention the economy, the environment, and the complex geopolitical chess match that is now being played out for the world's precious energy resources. The most tangible example of how this energy breakpoint will affect our lives occurred in 2005 in the aftermath of Hurricanes Katrina and Rita, when Gulf Coast drilling platforms, refineries, and pipelines stopped feeding the United States. The sudden jump in costs, the desperate calls for action, and the anxious feeling of economic and even political insecurity were reminiscent of the oil shocks of the 1970s and early 1980s. Like any addict, we became extremely aware of the vulnerability of the supplies of energy that light our homes, turn our wheels, and power our cities and industries. The fragility in our energy lifeline that Katrina and Rita exposed highlights the increasingly untenable balance between the way we are supplied with oil and the way we consume its marvelous products. Day-to-day necessities like gasoline, heating oil, and jet fuel. Future potential calamities, natural or political, will continue to exacerbate the pressure points of an intertwined global problem. America is addicted to oil was only the first half of President Bush's statement. He went on to say that our oil is often supplied from unstable parts of the world. This caveat, along with increasing concerns about global warming, shows how complicated resolving our addiction has become. The challenges that can potentially aggravate our oil vulnerabilities are many. At different moments, we will blame geopolitical flashpoints, natural disasters, unsustainable consumption, tightening supplies, or the slow boil of global warming. In fact, the surface causes are largely irrelevant, since they are all symptomatic of the overall oil breakpoint. Our primary focus should be on our response to this breakpoint. Serious structural and lifestyle changes will be necessary. Beginning now, and over the course of the next 5 to 10 years, we will be forced to come to grips with our oil addiction.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?